Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Anyhow, Anyway by Summer England. I'm your podcast host, Summer England, and we talk about all things bookish, smutty, writing routines, chaos, and all of the stuff that happens in between there. And everybody, I am coming at you today. I have an electric blanket on me right now. I'm sipping coffee in the middle of the afternoon. I am recording this on my lunch break because I am a full-time actor and I've hopped back into a Christmas Carol contract. Yay! Yay! We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. You know, that's exactly how I sound. That's why I get paid the big hundreds of bucks. So I'm coming at you today and I'm tired because I have been at war. And war is tiring, but my anger doesn't go out. So basically, if you don't follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and you for some reason have just raw dogged my voice without knowing what I look like, shame. I'm a totally passably average blonde woman. So white, green eyes, average height, average everything. I'm of average everything canonically, except for my brain, which I would say is above average, and I've been using it to leverage it against my foes. So basically what's been happening, guys, this is the tea. Basically what's been happening is that at my beloved university in my beloved town that I live in, Mary Baldwin University, we got an email earlier this week, the student body got an email rather, that 17 of their minors were being deleted from the catalog, most of those in the College of Arts and Sciences, the Visual and Performing Arts more specifically. You should note that this is a first-generation majority-minority school. First up on the list of minors deleted is African American Studies, and not that far down the list was Hispanic culture and Spanish, etc., etc. It's very obvious, or at least insinuating, that the platform that this new president, who was not president at the beginning, the very, very, very beginning of term, rather it happened sort of a few weeks into term, there was like a whole deposition thing that we'll also get into, probably not in this episode, but a different episode, because I'm not going to be able to do a full tell all yet, because like I have more dirt to spill to major news outlets, and I don't want that to happen on a podcast first, because it just feels really impersonal, because it's just my voice, you know what I mean? It's like a vocal email as a podcast, and I want to be able to share some information for the first time, you know, in that manner. But anyhow, so this goes out, and then faculty members, beloved faculty members, but faculty members that I loved, they no longer will have a contract as of January, and they don't find that out. Those faculty members don't find that out until that email goes out, or they are informed the day the email goes out, despite the email saying, hey, we delayed announcing this to the student body so that we could tell the affected faculty members with care and respect. That's a lie. That's a lie. Again, all of this is detailed in my tell-all video. And the names that you should know are Todd Telemaco, the new president as of August. And then we have Will Webb, the incoming provost, who lacks the credentials to be provost. And then we have Brad Sheriff, who's the CFO, which is chief financial officer. I say it's come the fuck on, but you know, whatever. These are our three main villains. And I have been coming after these men. I've been coming after these men in every way that I know how, because how dare you come to a school in a state that you don't live in? Oh, that's right, folks. These guys, not a single one of them live in Virginia, and they are calling shots, deleting minors, and excising faculty from a school where they have never resided in this state. They are not voters. They are not registered voters in the state of Virginia. They are not part of the beautiful community that is Mary Baldwin University. And these guys are coming in and taking shots. And I'm out here as a bookish chaos gremlin thinking to myself, well, frankly, fuck it all, because I'm not a student there. I'm not a faculty member there. I was a faculty member there a few years ago. I was a professor of practice. And I kind of got my start in academia and higher learning and education at that community. I'm not a part of that anymore. I can just grab these men by the balls, by their academic balls, and I will be intending to do that, and I always have another card up my sleeve. So that is also something that they need to realize. And what's so funny about all this is that these three guys who don't live in the state, they suddenly are coming into power. Mind you, the board is letting this all happen. The board is their own evil fourth entity. But, you know, these three guys have chosen to become the public figureheads of the institution and take the credit of that. So they'll also take the flack for that. Okay? Okay, thank you very much. So this has something to do with writing, okay? As we all know, if you have listened to this podcast, I am writing a romance novel about two Shakespeare professors vying for the same tenure track position, okay? When I initially began writing that novel, of course it's loosely based on my experience in academia, and I went to a Shakespeare school. Mary Baldwin University has a master's that I completed in Shakespeare performance. It is a Master of Letters and it is a Master of Fine Arts. I believe it is a fantastic degree for academia. Yes, I'm an actor. I would say that my acting training came later in my professional life and not necessarily from there, but for academia and scholarship and pedagogy, I think that it's a really special place to be. So, of course, my romance novel that is based in Shakespearean academia, while it takes place at a fictional Ivy League institution, it is absolutely 100% based on my experiences in academia and, loosely related to caricatures of people that I have seen copied and pasted in different school settings. And the thing about that book, the antagonist, which is quickly there, it'll be on the jacket copy. There is a new president at Ivywood, which is the fake Ivy League institution. I know, I'm an author. It's a really clever name. There's a new president that comes in, and he is a business-minded CEO, and he's going to help the Ivywood institution because he was a businessman, and they're suffering after the pandemic, and enrollment has dropped and all this stuff. He comes in. Well, he comes under a lot of fire, and it puts a lot of pressure on him to fill this next position that's opening up with sort of like a star-studded cast. And when I was writing it initially, I thought to myself, is this believable? Like a CEO-minded person coming in? I don't know. I don't know if I'm just like reaching too far, if I'm trying to make it too relevant or how I feel about things. Cut to literally that happening. Cut to literally. I swear to you, and I think that Word documents, it will show you the history of edits and stuff. I can literally prove to you all that I wrote this whole blurb that President Regnault is his name, is a CEO-minded guy, and we ousted the former president who was beloved and a scholar in his field for this CEO guy to help our numbers and stuff. And it's fucking happening. It's happening in goddamn real life. If you know what, with my manifestation powers, I'm going to have to dial it back, okay? I'm going to have to take a step back from that. Or maybe I just need to write the end of the book and thus the end of this regime. So all of that's been happening this week. And what really gets my gat about it is just really deeply upsetting to me that this is transpiring in a community of students that, with such minimal resources already available at a liberal arts institution, these students show up time and time again. They move mountains. They are bright, shining lights. The faculty are amazing. The professors are life-changing. They are involved. They go to so many different student events. They are supportive in every way that they can. They go above and beyond their job's description, and they're getting dismissed. They're getting dismissed by a guy who lives in North Carolina, another guy who lives in New Hampshire, and the other guy who lives in Missouri. Wow. The unholy trinity. And I'm going to read you out, actually. Here are the minors that are being excised from education at this school. African American Studies. This is in order that they sent out in the list. African American Studies, Anthropology and Sociology, Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Professional Writing, Sexuality and Gender Studies, Spanish Language and Hispanic Cultures, Exercise Science, but that one is retained as a major. Religious Studies, Physics, Art History, Film with an emphasis in film production, Film with an emphasis in film studies, Music, Studio Art, Dance, Science, Communication, Creative Writing. In this email, they're like, hey kids, and don't worry, you're going to be able to finish this stuff out. We're just letting you know it's no longer going to be offered. But the faculty who teach this, they're not going to be here in January. So how do you expect them to be able to complete their promised education? It's already majorly disrupted, and they're already being affected by the deposition of a beloved president randomly, seemingly overnight, okay? Because, honestly, I'm just going to get into it. In August, In August, Stein, the former president, everybody gets an email overnight that's like, hey, so he has formally resigned, and basically insinuating like, oh my gosh, this was definitely unexpected. But when that went out to the faculty, not 15 minutes later was it released to the press. So it doesn't really seem like it wasn't expected by some of those parties. And while the details around his resignation are murky, and I don't want to share any misinformation. Let's just say that they're murky to the point where I would suspect that the board ousted him because he was in direct opposition to doing this thing that Todd Telemaco, the current president, is doing, where he is basically hauling out Visual and Performing Arts College of Arts and Sciences from this liberal arts institution. Stein was not interested in doing that and was a supporter of the arts, and I think that probably put a bounty on his head. And the other thing that is damning about this and makes me wonder if this was actually a deposition more than anything else is that it was basically overnight that Todd Telemaco was asked to be president and accepted the position. There was not a search for somebody more qualified. There was not a search for somebody who lived in the state, who was a part of the Mary Baldwin community in a meaningful way. None of that. There was just this new guy. And then from there, it has been very secretive as to what Telemaco's plans for the school are, other than all of the sudden campus buildings that classes are in and entire programs are based out of are showing up on people's Zillow because he's selling them, which would lead me to believe that there is an intention to just shut down the residential campus of Mary Baldwin University, and the first step in doing that is taking away the arts and humanities, because where there is no humanity, there are no humans, you know? And so I have been calling attention to that on my social media, and, you know, I think that I have a lot of feelings around whenever things happen, you know, at the large world stage. Everyone is always saying like, oh, famous people, you need to use your platform to talk about this. And I'm not disagreeing with it. I think my issue with it is with the federal government, in that it's kind of just knocking on the belly of a ship, that cruise ship. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to do anything. If you're stuck under the water, you're stuck under the water. And I don't like when anything feels disingenuous, or that yes, there's a purpose, and yes, absolutely talk, because you could change people's minds. However, if the hope is use your platform to get the attention of the federal government, I'm like, I really feel like that type of intentionality is so much better served to local communities, because I think a lot of stuff that's happening right now, especially in higher learning, especially in liberal arts, where we see these small colleges all around America and even around the world. I mean, I have people messaging me who are at schools in the UK and in different places where something similar has happened, where these people in power see what other people in power are doing on the world stage and are given permission to be asshats, to say, great, I will misuse this power and I will use this to my own vendetta because everybody else is doing it, so I am too. And that is what is so insidious and very concerning and horrible out of all of the things that happen politically. It's that it gives everyday people the permission to enact that type of thinking, especially in places of power. And I think that academia is inherently political. Everything is, okay? So if you turn this podcast off because you're like, I don't want to listen to politics, reading is a political act. I'm sorry to tell you, being a woman is a political act. Okay? Like everything is that way. And so, you know, I think what things trickle down in really insidious ways, but when local communities mobilize and when they band together and they say, we will not have this, and it works because it is so much more palpable and tangible. So whereas when I am a citizen with a platform talking about, I think the federal government should change this, that makes me feel like I am underneath a cruise ship and I'm knocking like, hey guys, can you let me in? Whereas in a local community, it really feels like you're face to face and actions can be changed. And I think it is, I struggle a lot with being on social media because I don't like being on my phone, and social media is a really special place, but it's also just I think it is also like a scourge on society in a lot of ways. And if it all went away tomorrow, I would miss the connections that I made, but I would be happy to never pick up my phone again to check a notification. And I think you can probably see that in my content because I don't spend a lot of time editing my content. I'm telling you my thoughts and then I'm turning my phone off because it is a method of sharing. However, with this situation and being able to call attention to it, I am so hopeful that change will come from it in service of the Mary Baldwin University, because in the best case scenario is that it's Todd Telemaco, Will Webb step down. They immediately resign. The board reconfigures. Some of them resign. Better board members come in. Members that care about the community, that are a part of the community, that have been a part of Mary Baldwin, because half of them, based on the list I have been given, have not and will never live in the state, have nothing to do with this school, did not attend this school. They're like lawyers and diamond miners. Like, what are we talking about, everybody? Oh my God. Guys, what is going on? And in the best case scenario, that all fundamentally changes. And the faculty members that care so deeply about this institution and who have been there through so much of it and helped, maintain students and maintain these relationships and get through COVID and figure stuff out together are reinstated, and enrollment goes up, because as much as the public eye is now on Todd Telemaco and Will Webb, because my bookish gremlins know no bounds, thank you queens and kings and noble theys, I hope it's also bringing to light that it is a very special place. It really is. And, Stanton saved me and Mary Baldwin made me. And it's one of the reasons why I am a content creator and why I'm entertaining and why I'm employed and why I have a book deal and, all of these things that have made my life what it is. I'm recording this sitting in a house that I bought because I got a contract with Hachette, the third biggest publisher in the world, and I cultivated those skills and that ability to navigate the creative industry at Mary Baldwin University at that master's program. And I feel so intensely about pedagogy and fighting for this school because I've worked with these students and I have seen the absolute, different experiences that each of them come to, but they're so eager to be there and be in the room and work with what they've got. And it just gets my fucking gad that these three dudes think that they can fuck it up. And to that I say, try. Why don't you stand there and try? Because my mom doesn't like me, buddies. You think you have anything on me? No, you fucking don't. You don't. I am an insane person. Listeners to the podcast, you know this. I'm well, but my brain is insane. I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and I write 5,000 words. I am a single mom. I went through a custody battle with a fundamentalist Christian. I came from a fundy cult. Motherfuckers don't mess with me. I'm evil. I'm evil for good. But I've had to deal with so much fucking shit my entire life. And every single time I've always had to mask it. And I've never had the power, ever, in those situations wherein a guy is coming in and he's telling people this is how it is. I'm not letting that happen to anyone else ever again if I have anything to say about it. Ever. I had to stand my whole life and watch that happen. And these guys are copies and pastes of what I grew up with and what people have to deal with every day. And yes, I have, over 500,000 people on different platforms, and it's Instagram and it's TikTok and it's this podcast and it's a little bit on YouTube, and it might not seem like much, but together I think it is something. It is. And at the end of the day, they don't have shit on me, and I will continue this grudge until the day I expire from this mortal coil. Okay? I hope that they realize what they've signed up for, because how dare you come in and say that you're a leader and then treat people like that, lie to students, lie in the email, lie to faculty, and think people are going to sit idly by and watch. And I know that they thought they could get away with it because this is a small liberal arts institution and anybody who could say anything, their entire contracts are in their hands. Not me. Not me. Try me. Fucking try me. Okay? This is what I'm saying. Do not get on my bad side. I really don't like and get one of the reasons why I have built a cozy, bookish life is because on the inside, I am a raging chaos monster. And I want my outside to calm the monster that is festering within me all the time. I believe myself to be sweet, kind. I care about the people that I care about deeply. I love people fully. I am fiercely loyal, but that fierce loyal is righteous fury and wrath. Okay? Okay? Do not. Okay? So, I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I will obviously be sharing like a gossip column tell all, and it's not a gossip column. It's facts. It's facts is the thing. Like the incoming provost, Will Webb. It's kind of amazing. And I have the screenshots of his LinkedIn. So even if he changes it, it doesn't matter because I have the screenshots. I have the read receipts. It makes it look like he has completed his doctoral degree, which is a credential. You need a terminal degree, ideally, to be provost of an institution wherein you are the boss of people with PhDs from Harvard. Anyhow, so it makes it look, Will Webb makes it look like he literally has a degree, a doctoral degree on his LinkedIn, and he doesn't. Multiple sources have confirmed that he has not completed that degree. Do you know who's paying for that degree that he's been working on for years and still hasn't finished? Mary Baldwin University. You know who pays for Will Webb, Todd Telemico, and Brad Sheriff, who all live in different states, to travel into the state? Mary Baldwin University. Yeah, student dollars are going to paying for these three guys in charge who are interested in taking away education from students. It's crazy. It's actually insane. Actually insane what these guys think that they can get away with. And bitches, my name's not Summer England for nothing, okay? The sun never sets on the England Empire, all right? I got people all over the goddamn world. So try my ass. Now, this isn't necessarily the coziest podcast I've ever done, and I don't anticipate the weeks ahead are going to be inherently cozy, but I do just want to guarantee you one thing is that you got my teas, baby, okay? You got my tea, you know who I am, you know that I'm going to be telling you the deets and everything every which way. So if you think this was interesting, compelling, and possibly even angering, what I would like for you to do is I have dropped the email of Todd Telemico and Will Webb actually in the show notes. And if you can just tell them that we're watching, and also Will Webb, where's your degree? Can we like start a hashtag? Where's Will's degree at? I'll show you my terminal degree, Will, if you show me yours. Oh, you don't have one? Oh, I have more degrees than you? Huh, that's so silly. I have 3 degrees, and you have a lie one? Interesting. I think that's really compelling. Now, obviously, I do need to share some cozy things. So what am I reading right now? In the news that doesn't matter. In the news that doesn't matter. I am inches away from being done with this romance novel. I am going to get it done by the end of the year, and then I will hop into the novel that I'm contracted for, but I'm inches away from getting it done. I'm like at 75,000 words. I only need 85,000, but I've gone back and I've edited the first 15 chapters. I thought it was going to be dual POV, but then I switched it back to singular POV. And I really like that I did try dual POV, and I don't think that any writing is a failure. I really don't, because I delved into the dual POV, and now I have scenes for like when you need deleted scenes, because that is a thing. That is a thing of do not delete your writing. Please save a scene, a chapter, even if you don't like it anymore, because I got to the point in marketing for Impossible Garden of Clara Thorne that comes out in April, please pre-order, also in the show notes, is that we're getting to the part of like incentives for pre-order, and it's like, hey, do you want to send them an extra scene? And I'm like, yeah, I have like 30,000 words of extra scenes. So for a romance novel, I think it's probably it doesn't hurt that I have the dude's perspective of stuff. Because that can be a really fun novella or a companion piece or like something on Patreon. But I am so close to getting that finished and I'm so excited about it. But also, guys, I'm really tired. I really want to go to the coffee shop right now and get like an iced decaf oat milk vanilla latte, extra sweet, extra large. That's just my order, and I can't do it because I have to go back to work and also field a bunch of emails and also talk to the press and like the Washington Post. And I'm so happy to do it, and I will continue fighting, but I'm so sleepy. I'm like really struggling. I just want everything to be okay. I take this very, very, very seriously. So, what I'm reading The Matzo Ball, which is so cute. It's by Jean Meltzer, and I'm obsessed with this book. This is a Hanukkah/Christmas book. It's so cute. Here's the thing about holiday books that I've noticed is that I go into a holiday book expecting something along the lines of like very Hallmarky, very cookie cuttery. And then a lot of the holiday books that I've read, not that the writing is it's not that I was expecting bad writing, but the writing is just like good. I'm just compelled, and it's precious and cute, but also concise and pithy and doesn't rely too much on tropes. There is meaningfulness to the holiday. I'm obsessed. Next, I'm reading a novella, Automatic Noodle by Annalee Newitz. I'm still on that one. So cute. Below Zero by Allie Hazelwood. And I'm still trying. I'm cracking away at Enchantress by Kaylee Smith. That one is just like, I just go back to it whenever I remember it's there. But I'm reading some really good books right now. And I wish that I had an update in children's literature. There is a book that we read, but it's upstairs right now. And I don't have the energy in me to like pause this podcast and then come back and get it, because that means I'm going to have to edit something. And if I have to stare at my computer screen anymore, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry a little bit. So anyhow, that's what's going on. But I do just want to say, you know, when people are like, women can do it and they can do it in heels, I do want to say that I have been engaging in an academic coup, which I have coined CoupQuette, because coquette, like the bows and the ballerina shoes. And so like Sabrina Carpenter, like pink. It's a pink, academic take back rather. Anyhow, I've been engaging in that, and that has taken up hours of my day as I've been doing research, and I'm popping poisies on JSTOR and all of that stuff, and talking to, people reaching out and such. But I've also knitted my first Christmas stocking. My writing routine is, I'm still waking up at 5 a.m. I'm still waking up at 5 a.m. and banking like at least 1,000 words before my kiddo wakes up and before I do my first news story tell-all. Like, bitch, don't come for me. All right? Mommy's here. Okay? I painted my nails. Good God. I hate myself. Nails over the weekend. So that's what's happening. What has taken a hit? My social life. I miss my friends. I really want to have a coffee date with my friends. I don't have time to have a coffee date with my friends this week. And I also have been like, I don't want to be distracted, because whenever I'm around my best friends, I just get like comfy, cozy. I don't have a care in the world. And this week I'm like, no, baby, you got to care. You don't have time. You do not have time to feel cozy. You don't. You need to be in work mode, and that's okay. And this feeling will pass. And like, I'm very lucky to be able to do this. I'm not one of the faculty members whose contract is being held over my head. I don't have to worry about that. So I'm more than happy to do this. I just fucking need coffee and my friends. So that's what's happening. I will give you updates accordingly. Expect probably a bonus podcast episode. I don't know if I'll wait until next Thursday, because why would I wait when I have the tea? Like when I have the dirt. And so for those listeners, I will put the petition, and I will also put their emails. And just like, if you're bored, you can send a little cunty email and say, hey, we're watching. Everybody's watching what you're doing right now. Everybody knows. Will, where is your degree that you say that you have that you don't? And you guys don't live here, so what the fuck is going on there? That's my request. That's my want. I hope the holiday season is going super well for you. I am hosting actually a burgeoning huge Thanksgiving next week, because like, why not? Literally, why not? I have things to do. And I am going to be hosting Thanksgiving and it's going to be a Little Women Thanksgiving where I'm going to have like book pages on the table and stuff. Guys, stop. I know no bounds. Okay? I'm Martha fucking Stewart. I'm not. I'm not. Okay? I'm not. I could never be that hot because I'm really like terrible. I'm pretty bad with the glue gun, and I feel like the thing that you need to be as Martha Stewart is passable at math and definitely good with the glue gun, and numbers get backwards in my head, and I'm expert at burning myself. I don't even know if I have fingerprints anymore, which might behoove me in my CoupQuette. But anyway, I love you all so much, and thank you for listening to me gib-gab in your ears, manifesting that we get a sponsor for this podcast. Oh my God. The day that I say I'm coming at you live with a Quince shirt, I just want you to know that will be the best day of my life. It'll be one of the best days of my life, okay? So anyhow, stay cozy, stay bookish, sign the petition and save the arts, email Todd and email Will. Bye.